Khan arrived and was received in audience. Her Majesty said to him, "Now, you are one of the oldest officials in the country, and I want you to give me your unbiased opinion as to what effect this war is going to have on China. Do not be afraid to give your firm opinion, as I want to be prepared for anything which is likely to happen." He answered that no matter what the result of the war might be, China would in all probability have to make certain concessions to the powers with regard to Manchuria for trade purposes, but that we should not otherwise be interfered with. Her Majesty repeated what had been discussed at the previous audiences on this subject and also regarding reform in China. Chan Chi-tang replied that we had plenty of time for reform and that if we were in too great a hurry, we should not accomplish anything at all. He suggested that the matter be discussed at length before deciding upon anything definite. In his opinion, it would be foolish to go to extremes in the matter of reform. He said that 10 or 15 years ago, he would have been very much against any reform whatsoever, but that he now saw the need for it to a certain extent, as circumstances had changed very much. He said that we should adhere strictly to our own mode of living and not abandon the traditions of our ancestors. In other words, he simply advised the adoption of Western civilization where it was an improvement on our own and nothing more. Her Majesty was delighted with the interview, for Chan Chi-tang's opinions coincided exactly with her own. During the whole of these audiences, the Emperor, although present each time, never opened his lips to say a word, but sat listening all the time. As a rule, Her Majesty would ask his opinions just as a matter of form, but he invariably replied that he was quite in accord with what Her Majesty had said or decided upon. Of the many religious ceremonies in connection with the Buddhist religion, the La Pacho was the most important. This was held on the 8th day of the 12th moon each year. According to the common belief, on the 8th day of the 12th moon, many centuries ago, a certain Buddhist priest, Yu Lai, sent out to beg for food. And after receiving a good supply of rice and beans from the people, he returned and divided it with his brother priests, giving each an equal share, and he became celebrated for his great charity. This day was therefore set apart as an anniversary to commemorate the event. The idea was that by practicing self-denial on this day, one would gain favor in the sight of this Buddha, Yu Lai. Therefore, the only food eaten was rice, grain, and beans, all mixed together in a sort of porridge, but without any salt or other flavoring. It was not at all pleasant to eat, being absolutely tasteless.
And that was from the 17th chapter of 2 Years in the Forbidden City, written by Princess Sterling and narrated by Man Ling. Join us next time on A Light on Literature for the 18th chapter.
how China really works? How is China of the past different from the present? Get all the answers to your questions by visiting China Plus Audiobooks. Access a whole new world of audiobooks on our website at chinaplus.cri.cn/podcast. Explore the philosophy, spirit, and story of the Chinese people.
我要学汉语 I want to learn Chinese.
其实并不难 It can be fun.
欢乐汉语 Chinese Studio。
大家好，我是叶杰。Welcome to Chinese Studio on China Radio International.
你们好，我是 Cam. So what do we have planned for today, Yajie?
Well, we've been learning how to talk about jobs. 你在哪儿工作? Where do you work? But when you meet a student without a job, what would you say to start the conversation?
That's a good question. Let's find out in keywords of the day.
Keywords of the day.
你在哪儿上学?
Where do you study?
上学
Go to school or study.
学生
Student.
University 大学
Middle school.
中学 Primary school 小学
So, Yajie, today's topic is really timely. I'm actually meeting with some university students next week to help them learn English, and then I can practice my Chinese at the same time.
Good times. In Chinese, student is 学生
学生, student. So how about university student?
大学学生 University student. University 大学 大 the fourth tone. Basically, it means big. And 大学学生 can also be shortened to just 大学生.
I see. 大学学生.